What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Last Word. I'm Charlie.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Fletcher.
And this is the first podcast that we are recording. This will primarily be NBA, but we also throw in some baseball and some football here and there. Nick, why don't you plug the Instagram?
All right, so our Instagram is TheLastWord_PC, PC meaning podcast. So we're pretty small so far, but at this point, we're able to actually talk to you, the viewers, and have you guys request certain talks.
All right. Our first talk, we're going to be kicking it off with the seeding, first in the Eastern Conference, and then we will segue it into the Western Conference. We're going to be going in order from 15 to 1 in each conference.
All right, boys. So, who wants to go first? All right. 15 in the East. I think we all got this. It's the Hornets, guys. It's the Hornets.
Yeah.
They're so bad.
For sure. They are going.
Kemba Walker leaves. Your best player is Terry Rozier, who came off the bench for the Celtics last year.
That is legitimately
had a very disappointing season.
And then your best shooter is an ancient Nick Batum.
Yeah.
Arguably the worst team in history. This team could end up having less than 10 or 5 wins.
Less than 10 wins. Definitely have less than 10 wins.
This team is just god-awful. All right.
It's the worst. Steve Clifford's not a great coach either.
Yeah,
So,
they're just not a good team.
They're just
at all.
Yeah,
I'm sure we all probably agreed for number 14 as well.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yep.
Their two guards
Bro,
don't
why would they
fit
draft
together.
Darius Gillard?
It just doesn't fit together.
Can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah.
Why would they draft Darius Gillard, bro? Garland, my bad. I don't understand that.
It just doesn't make sense. They both aren't that good at passing as guards. They need either a passing guard or like a center or something. Because at the moment, their best player is an injured Kevin Love. They need something.
I mean, Tristan Thompson can hold his own. I haven't lost faith, but like at some point they gotta realize it's a guards league, but the primary like duty of a guard is to pass the ball.
Exactly.
And they have two guards who are not good at passing.
Except for, of course, in Jokic's case, who's arguably the best passer in the league.
Yeah, but
what Cleveland really needs to do is they need to get rid of Kevin Love. They need to get rid of Tristan Thompson.
They need to blow up. They need to
blow up.
Ways.
They need
to
rebuild.
Adapt to this league because clearly that's not what's working.
They can get a first-round pick for Kevin Love.
Exactly.
They can get a solid second-round pick for Tristan Thompson. They have assets.
Because at the
to
moment,
do
their
something.
future will not fit, and I guarantee you one of those guards is not going to re-sign.
Yeah.
No, because like they're going to be unhappy with the touches they're getting.
And the team is just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
All right, number 13. I think we're all in agreement again.
I actually have a little bit of a different one.
New York?
No. I actually
I'm
have
actually
the Wizards.
different as well.
I believe
Wow.
the Wizards are going to
Okay.
trade either Beal
Okay.
or they're going to trade.
Wall's injured, so I don't think they can.
I don't think they can trade I don't think they can trade Wall, but they might actually trade Wall and Beal both to the Heat at the same time. This was a trade
the Heat?
that they were talking about for a while, actually, and so I believe the Wizards are going to drop to one of the worst teams. They have one young gun that I believe actually can do well, and that's Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant is a great center. I think they should trade him as well, though, because honestly, that team is just straight garbage.
You could get a few first-round picks
Yeah.
for Thomas Bryant.
Yeah,
honestly.
absolutely. I would say trade him to the Kings.
Yeah,
the Kings
I was about
need
to
a
say,
center.
you trade him to a team like the Kings with a young core where they can all develop together.
Exactly.
Especially a team that needs a dominant inside presence when you got a good guard like De'Aaron Fox and a good guard like Buddy Hield.
Agreed. I completely agreed. I actually
13.
also disagreed with you on the Knicks being
The Knicks?
13.
Okay.
Okay. I actually said Chicago.
Okay.
I said
That's
the Bulls.
fair.
I think
I
Zach
said the
LaVine
Bulls.
is going to go off.
I
think
think
the
they're
Beans-
going to be the Phoenix Suns of the East. I think they're.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
I
That is-
think Zach LaVine, he's going to go off for around 26
But they
points,
also-
and they're still going to lose.
But they still have Otto Porter. They still have Laurie Markkinen. They have good
Kobe
guys.
White's a good young
Kobe
Their
player.
White's a
starting
great
point-
young point
Their
guard.
starting point guard is going to be Chris Dunn at the beginning of the season.
They're planning. They
They're-
actually
they're-
planned
they're-
on cutting
they're
relationships
thinking
with.
they're thinking about getting.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it, but they haven't done it yet. And if they were to start the regular season,
If
right
they were
now,
to start the regular
it
season,
would be
today.
Chris
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I cannot have a team with the starting point guard at as Chris Dunn.
Chris Dunn is a
Doing
pretty
better
great
than 13.
defender, but
So
you
my
need an offensive guard.
Yeah. So my
He's
reasoning
terrible.
for putting New York at 13 is because I think RJ Barrett's a chucker, and it's going to take a while for him to adjust.
I agree.
I'm a big fan of Julius Randle.
I do.
However,
too.
they signed too many power forwards.
Yes.
And y'all could say arguably the most important position in the NBA is the point guard.
That's true.
I
I
agree.
cannot name the starting point guard for the Knicks.
Ntilikina.
Yeah.
Is
Or
it Ntilikina?
DJ Smith.
Or I don't even know who that is.
The dunk champion of the
It's
Oh,
league.
Ntilikina.
Dennis Smith.
Dennis Smith.
Oh, Dennis Smith.
Yeah.
They're both
It's
solid.
horrible.
It's
horrible.
They're not a good team.
They are not a good basketball
I have them
team.
actually at the 12th seed.
That is also where I have.
because
I had the Bulls there.
I think the Knicks, they actually do have more of a future than people. Everyone's like, oh, they're just straight garbage. They still have some good young players.
They do.
They still have
That doesn't
Kevin
mean that they're
Knox.
going to do
They
well.
still have RJ Barrett. They have plenty of good players. But they need to develop, and they need to develop together.
And the fact that Julius Randle I don't know why Julius Randle will willingly come into this
I
situation.
think it was just for the pay.
It had to be just for the pay and to be
he could have gone
the
to-
star player in New York.
He could have gone to so many different places that would have wanted him.
Well,
more.
he just
like
wanted
for
to be the
example,
number
the
one.
Blazers.
LA.
The Blazers would have wanted him. Clippers would have wanted him.
You would have been a great fit with the
He would have
Clippers.
been a great fit with the Clippers. He would have been
He
perfect.
matches their style of ball perfectly.
Exactly. Even the Rockets would want a player like that if they could find room in their contracts.
Okay, so who you guys got at number 11?
I got the Hawks.
Number 11. Yeah, I got the Hawks.
You got the Hawks that low?
The Hawks.
I had the Wizards.
There's a couple of teams that are making some moves that actually might make the playoffs. You know, I think the Bulls are actually at 10 because I think Zach LaVine, as I said earlier, is going to go off,
Okay.
and so is Otto Porter, and I think Lauri Markkanen knows that. I believe it's his contract year too.
Is it
and
his contract year?
I
No,
believe
he's-
so.
no.
Is he, or does he have another year?
I think
He's got another year.
Okay, well, I think he's getting to the point where
No,
he
it's his
knows
third
he
year.
needs to
This should
step
be
up.
his contract.
He needs to step up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so who
13
was
degrees
your
Fahrenheit.
12 and 11?
My 11 was Washington.
Washington. Okay, I had him a little bit lower because I thought they were going to trade Beal.
It honestly, it's a toss up if they trade Beal because
I agree.
Beal could win you a lot of like garbage games in
Yeah.
the Eastern Conference. He could win you a lot of garbage games in the Western Conference. He could quite possibly go out and win you a game against the
Bradley-
Warriors, just depending on like if he's got that type of
Bradley
night. They've
Beal.
got a few good pieces.
Bradley Beal's the guy to carry you against all the trash teams. You're not going to lose
Exactly. He was kind of like Kemba for the Hornets.
Yeah.
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 It's
He
like
kinda is their team right
he's
now.
he's that guy that you rely on, and when he's not there, it's like you're going to be the worst team in the league.
Exactly.
My 11, just like Nick, was also Atlanta.
Atlanta has a good future. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
talk about
They,
that. because
they don't have
I-
a center though.
I had
They
them
need
a
a
bit
center.
higher.
They don't have a
Don't
center.
they got Alex Len?
They have
But
John
Alex Len isn't that
Collins.
good.
They have
John Collins
Trae
is
Young.
good.
John
Trae
Collins
Young
needs
is
to
good.
work, but yeah, he's good.
Who did they draft? I forgot. Who's a
DeAndre
really good
Hunter.
one. No, and what's his name? He was on Duke. He was on Duke.
Did they get
This
Cam
year?
Reddish?
They did get Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish, yeah.
They did get
Yeah.
Cam Reddish. I believe
I
they're
got
going to
really
be a good
confused
team.
for a second.
I think they need at least another year or two,
They
and then they
need-
could actually be a good team
No,
in the East.
they need more than 2
Yeah, 'cause
years.
I
They
had-
have
I
some
had it
projects
higher.
on there. They need 3 years, and once they get like 3 years in, honestly, this could be a top 4 team in the East. And
Yeah.
they could become
They're trying to make like
a very
Kevin
good
Kevin
team.
Herter.
They-
They're trying to build something in there.
They have-
And I'm
they have
digging
some
it. I'm
chances.
digging it.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, who you guys got at 10?
I got the Bulls. As I said before,
Okay.
I think Zach LaVine's really going to step it up this year. I think Otto
I
Porter's
got-
going to step it up this year, and I think Lauri Markkanen's going to
Who
step
you
it
got,
up.
Fletch? I got something controversial. So
I got Washington
okay.
for pretty much the same reasons you. Bradley Beal can carry them against all the trash, all the buckets.
Okay.
You know.
Don't flame me.
Uh.
I got Orlando.
I have them. I actually
No.
have one higher than that,
Okay.
but this team is big. I mean, you look at this
Orlando.
team. That team is large.
They're
They
big.
have Aaron Gordon. They have
They got Vucevic. They got
Vucevic.
John Isaac.
John
Isaac's
Isaac.
a big.
He's going to be MIP.
John Isaac.
candidate this year.
I'm calling
Yeah,
it right now.
we've been
He is
saying that
going
for
to
the
be the
past
MIP.
3
See,
years.
but he
though.
actually has started to step it up. You can see
Jonathan
it in this
Isaac
game.
We've
is
been
going to
saying
be
that
that.
for
But in the
past 3
playoffs, he
years.
actually
We
did play
see-
well in the
We
playoffs.
see these like glimpses of like him might be like
The
this
next KD.
Yeah, exactly. Like this long, athletic,
Good
player,
shooter,
great shooter,
defender too. He's a
great defender, knows his role.
And they
The
have
thing
DJ
is,
Augustin.
he's-
DJ Augustin.
DJ Augustine's
He's a nice player.
Jonathan Isaac,
opinion.
I think, is going to be able to put it
my
together better than Brandon Ingram.
My thing is
really could end.
My thing is
Brandon Ingram is just injured.
I think Gordon can't get any better. I think Aaron Gordon has hit his peak potential.
I agree. I don't think
if he has not figured out how to play defense in the NBA by now, he's not going to.
I believe there was a preseason game. I think it was I think it was a game or two ago in which he went like 1 of 8.
Mm-hmm.
I think this guy just chucks up shots and just can't sink them. You know?
Yeah.
So I think Aaron Gordon's their main cancer. I think them waiting on John Isaac is a very risky move because he's a big piece that they are sitting on because they don't really make a lot of moves. If you've noticed, they don't really sign a lot of like, not even big free agents, just like role players.
Just role players.
Just like guys like
they're very stacked.
Yeah, just like guys like a 3-and-D, like a Rodney Hood or a Kent Bazemore.
I agree.
You know. And I no disrespect to Vucevic because I think Vucevic is a great player.
I think he's a great center. I think he's a 5-6 best center.
Once again, I think he's hit his peak. I don't think he can get better because he's already got a good 3-point shot. He gets about 10 rebounds a game if you let him. He gets around 25 points a game if you let him.
He does everything he needs to do, and it just sucks because he's on the Magic.
Because he's on the
Magic.
Magic.
Exactly.
He's on the Magic. But
he needs a real team.
That's
another player that I would want to go to the Kings. The Kings need a center. If that Kings team had a center, they could actually make the playoffs and make the playoffs by quite a lot.
All right,
Nick. Have you given us your 10?
I believe I have Bulls, and then I said Magic at 9.
Magic at 9.
So 9.
My 9 is the Miami Heat.
I had Detroit.
I don't know about that. I could see.
I know.
If Detroit,
controversial.
Detroit is a playoff team.
Detroit is going to be a high playoff team too. But I think if Detroit trades Blake Griffin or Andre Drummond, which it seems like
that was my count. That was
that's
my
why
count.
they'll.
I'm counting on one of those two being gone. Because they tried it last year, and it was toxic. And Reggie Jackson has been horrible ever since he's been in Detroit. People have been saying, oh, this is his year. He's going to finally take this step. He's going to be like what we thought he was going to be in Oklahoma City. But he hasn't.
And it's for some reason they're not even starting D Rose this year, which doesn't make sense.
No, D Rose is coming off the bench.
He's way better than their starting point guard.
However, if they do decide to start D Rose and they let him eat, which he's totally capable of doing still.
They'll be a playoff team. But
they will.
The thing is,
they're a great team.
I think they could be a very solid team.
Their starting small forward is like Bruce Brown. I don't know who that is.
I think they drafted that one Frenchman. I believe like Dombia or something like that. What's his name? They drafted him like 13th or 14th. You guys remember this guy? I believe came from France. He's a very solid player.
Okay.
I think they actually do have a future at the small forward, but right now their small forward is garbage. They really need to step up.
Oh, speaking of Frenchmen, we didn't even talk about this with the Wizards. Like,
Rui,
but he's Japanese.
Rui.
But like, I was just thinking about like international
players who are going to be good.
Well, I think Rui has a chance, but I think it's going to take time for him to
develop. That's the another reason. Right. Wizards got like a decent core.
Exactly.
They just need time.
Cool.
They just need time to learn from Bradley.
Yeah. Right. We've all said our 9s, right?
Yep. All right.
Playoffs. Our 8.
Number 8.
My 8, the Heat. Okay. I believe the Heat are a very overrated team, to be honest. People are saying they're going to be a top 6
team.
Thinking they are not that
5.
good.
Yeah.
Their top 3 players are Jimmy Butler, Adebayo, Goran Dragic switched teams, I believe. I think he's now on the Bucks or something like that.
Is he really?
Yeah.
No, he's
still in Miami.
He's still in Miami.
Yeah. Okay, then it's Jimmy Butler, Dragic, and then Adebayo. And that's really not that good. That's not enough to
Bam's
put you high. Bam's got another chance at making the most improved player. That guy's a very solid player. Now that Hassan's gone and they have the ability to actually play him more, I think he actually could be a very solid center.
I think they're just too young, and Jimmy Buckets is not a good leader.
He's really not. He's a very toxic player.
He's a very, very toxic individual.
The thing about Jimmy is he thinks his like street motives work because, as we all know, his amazing upbringing and his amazing backstory. Like he truly overcame everything, and I think it makes him mad to see other people who didn't have to endure that and have just been handed everything. And then when they get to the court, they don't have the same work ethic as him. And I think it's a difference between him and Kobe because Kobe knew how to push his teammates. Jimmy just makes his teammates feel like absolute
That's exactly what I was about to say. Jimmy Buckets.
Don't get us wrong.
He's a Dollar Tree Kobe.
No, he can ball.
He's a great defender. He's a pretty good passer. He's a very good scorer. He's clutch.
He just wants to win. He wants to win, but I think his attitude towards his teammates
exactly.
It'll affect the chemistry.
I don't think
terribly.
I think the Heat are going to be very close. I think they're going to be at the 8th seed, but I can't see them higher than that.
Fletcher, who'd you have for 8?
Orlando. I have the Orlando Magic.
Okay.
Mainly because Vucevic, and he's a very good center. One of the best in the league. And
I had Atlanta. I believe in Trae Young.
I really like Trae Young.
I really believe in Trae Young.
He's not efficient enough yet.
He's not efficient.
He's not efficient enough.
Most guards aren't, and I know there's this whole sophomore slump thing with guards, but I really am looking forward to seeing what Trae Young can do. I've always loved Alex Len, too.
I also love Trae Young's play style. I mean, he really is kind of like the early Curry, you know? The early Curry actually was really good at passing, and he was really good at shooting. I think if John Collins could also like get into
I'm a huge John Collins fan.
If he can get in on the passing and be like the Draymond Green to the Steph Curry.
Exactly. And you got Kevin Hurd, who's kind of trying to mimic Klay Thompson.
Exactly.
And John Collins has a chance to become
Cam Reddish. All these guys are great young
Vince
players.
Carter's there too.
Exactly. And Vince Carter can actually like teach these guys how to play.
Vince Carter.
I love Vince Carter.
He's a great
player. It is, and it makes me sad. That man is straight raw. That guy is a greatest
dunker of all time.
He will have played basketball in the NBA in 4 different decades.
Yeah.
He has played
2020. Yeah.
He is actually older than Trae Young's dad. That's how old this man is. Yeah.
Wow.
He is older than Trae Young's dad.
Wow.
Yeah. That is how old this man is. Okay. But he's a beast.
All right.
Number 7s. I had Miami.
I had Raptors.
I had
that low?
Yeah.
I had the Pacers.
I say that low like I don't have Raptors.
Oh, this is why
You said Pacers?
The Pacers.
Oh,
no.
I'm sorry, man.
We're about to roast you, man.
We're gonna clown you.
That team.
Malcolm Brogdon.
That team is a top 10 for starters
and
a top 5.
Oladipo's already started 5-on-5 work.
They also picked up Jeremy Lamb, who would have been one of the best players from the Hornets.
They got T.J. Warren, Domantas Sabonis finna have a year. Miles Turner finna have a year.
Nick, I just want to say,
wow,
one of the best players on the Hornets. That doesn't mean anything.
See, but that doesn't mean anything. That would have been the best player.
He was the second best player on the Hornets.
That doesn't mean anything.
He was a good player.
He was on the Hornets.
Bro, he hit 2 like
he hit a half-court
shot against the Raptors. Like, dude, twice.
This man is twice. This man is a beast.
That's insane.
I think the Pacers are going to be so much higher than that. We'll get to that, but I think the Raptors are going to be the 7th seed because I really think this team is kind of getting overrated because all of these Toronto fans are showing up everywhere. That team
didn't lose much.
Carried. No, they did. They lost Kawhi Leonard. And Danny Green.
I think Fred Van
we also have to think about a couple of the young project pieces that look really good. Chris Boucher. He was
from Oregon.
Yeah, from Oregon. He was the G League MVP. He averaged 28 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4
He reminds me of a longer Draymond.
4 blocks. He's a long, tall Draymond. He's kind of like a KD with no handles.
Yeah. All right. So, as I said before, I believe the Raptors are going to make 7. I think they could do pretty well against the playoffs, but I just really don't see it yet. Them making so high in the playoffs without Kawhi or Danny Green. And Danny Green was one of their best players last year as well.
Okay.
But
my whole reason, I had the Raptors at 6.
Oh, that's a good place.
We talked about the Heat. My whole reason for putting the Raptors above the Heat, I think when it comes to not only playoffs but like regular season.
And they have Marc Gasol, Pascal, and they have a bunch of good players.
I think when it comes to the regular season, it's an 82-game season. That's a long-ass season. I think your chemistry, that's really huge. And I think that, they've really – because they won a championship. It's the first in franchise history. They're a Canadian team in an American league.
But that could also backfire if you think about it. Because if they come in and just get crushed the first couple of games,
but
their hopes are going to be dropped.
They know what they lost in Kawhi Leonard.
Professionals don't lose hopes.
You guys keep forgetting about Danny Green. Danny Green is a beast. And they really lost him, too.
Okay, Nick, professionals don't lose hope after losing a few out of the first 10 games.
If you're the defending champion and you go straight to losing a couple of games just because you lost.
Unless you are a member
I think Pascal is going to be a great player in the future. But right now, I don't see it.
Unless you are a member of the Cleveland Browns or the Charlotte Hornets, you are not going to lose hope after losing a couple games.
Okay.
All
right. Well, I think we should move on to the next position. Who do you guys got at 6?
At 6?
Raptors.
I had the Raptors.
Okay, well, I'll say I had the Pistons, all right? And the reason why I had the Pistons, the Pistons, they still have a good team. All right, and even if they do trade Blake Griffin, they have this one player that I feel like you guys have never heard of. Have you guys ever heard of Christian Wood?
Oh,
he came in. He played for the Bucks at first, and then he played for, I believe it was the who was it?
It was the Pacers.
No,
it wasn't the Pacers.
Was it?
Hold on, give me a moment.
Yeah, look it up. Keep talking about him though.
Okay, so this guy was an absolute beast, though. I mean, I think he averaged something like 20 points as soon as he actually got some time, and this man was actually killing it. And
he played for New Orleans.
New Orleans, that's who it was. This man could actually fill in for Blake Griffin. Obviously, he's not going to be as good as Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin's like the 15th best player in the NBA right now. But this guy is still a beast, all right? And they have Andre Drummond, they have D Rose, they have all these good players. They have the pieces to make it a good team.
But like
Christian Wood.
Look at like the Brooklyn Nets a few years ago. They had so many pieces. Look at the
That's true, but that team was old. That team was old.
Christian
Wood. Those teams were old.
Drummond's getting older.
This is not a person. Okay. Drummond's 25.
Drummond is young.
He's getting older.
Drummond is young.
He's getting into his prime.
He's got Derrick Rose.
Drummond's not even as
how old is Derrick Rose now? Like 30?
Derrick Rose is older now, but Christian Wood is a young, good piece. And in 23 minutes last year, he was averaging 17, 8, and 1.
And this man was absolutely killing it. He had one game in which he got 6 blocks. All right, that is absurd. This man is a beast, and this guy is unheard of. And I'm very surprised that other teams didn't actually try and pick this guy up, because this guy also did this on high efficiency. He's underrated. But I think after talking about the Pistons for so long, I think we should get to our number 5.
Number 5?
Who do you guys have at number 5?
Mine's actually the Pistons. So.
The Pistons?
We just went over. They're a good
okay.
playoff team.
I actually have the Nets. All right. I don't think they're going to pull it together quite ready at the moment, because they don't have KD. They don't have KD. Yeah. They really don't have that good of a passer. They really don't have a facilitator on that team. Spencer Dinwiddie's all right. Kyrie's all right, but Kyrie's still not a good passer. Kyrie's just a get assist kind of guy. You know.
They got good pieces. I think they got a really good.
I don't think they're ready yet.
They got a good piece in Karis LeVert.
Right now, Kyrie is their leader right now with Kevin Durant.
And Kyrie is
We've seen what happens when Kyrie is leading the team in Boston, and I am not impressed.
The thing is, again, chemistry is a huge thing. This Nets team loved each other. Mm-hmm. Like, they
lost Jared Dudley, man. They're done. All right? They're done.
No, they lost D'Angelo. They lost Jared Dudley. Kyrie is better than D'Angelo. Mm-hmm. I think we can all agree about that. Obviously, yeah. But
I don't think he's the same leader. I don't think he's the same guy. Exactly. I don't think he's the same guy.
That's why yes, they will make the playoffs again, and yes, they are a better team.
But they're not going to be.
But they won't go anywhere.
They won't go anywhere
until Durant gets back, and until this team is
healthy. Let's not forget, Durant is one of the best players in the NBA, and when he comes back, he's going to.
Let's not forget. Kevin Durant is one of the best players in the NBA.
Okay, obviously I said that, but. When he comes back, he's going to kill it, obviously. He's going to say, hey, I really was out for this long, but I'm still the old me. I think that's what he's going to come out.
Kevin Durant's got that type of game where he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, a lot of players aren't able to come back.
He can sit at the top of the key and just shoot threes. And
I think KD is going to be one of those players.
A lot of players can't come back from that type of an injury.
But he is going to be one of those kind of players. He's a determined player. I think he really is.
I mean, we've seen so many careers end due to injuries similar to that. Brandon Roy, for instance, he was.
Please don't. Different. Please.
That's a sore subject for us Blazers fans.
That.
But the thing about Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant has so many facets of his game.
And don't forget that technology has advanced to the point where medicine has actually gotten significantly better. Even in the last couple of years, KD has the ability to actually become less injured. You know, he can actually go. Yeah, okay, I couldn't think of the word, but he has the ability. He has the technology and the resources to rehabilitate. Exactly.
Okay, so my number 5 was the Celtics.
I think that Celtics team is going to have a top tier offense, but their defense is going to be literally like the 29th.
Absolutely awful.
And
Gordon Hayward finally gets a time to prove why he was brought here.
But I don't think this is one of the things, all right? That team, I'll list off the players. Kemba, great offensively, terrible defensively. Jaylen Brown, great defensive player, a meh offensive player. Jason Tatum, meh defensively, a good offensive player. Gordon Hayward, undersized power forward, not that good at defense.
And then
Cantor,
one of the worst defending centers.
The worst. He's renowned for being one of the worst defensive centers in the league.
I would say bottom 3 defender in the league at his position.
Myers Leonard. I love Myers Leonard, but that man is
Myers Leonard was better than him, bro.
Enes Cantor can't defend, and that's straight facts.
Yeah, he absolutely can't.
All right.
That team's going to get murdered by a bigger team.
That's why I put them so low. Mm-hmm. It's because they're probably going to put up 110 and the other team's going to put up 130. Like, that's just the way it's
But I still think that team has some good pieces. Carson Edwards, one of the most underrated players in the draft, getting picked second.
Carson Edwards is an absolute stud. But don't forget about his Purdue teammate, bro. Don't forget about Mr. Taco. Don't forget about Mr. Taco.
But Carson Edwards
Wait, did you say Purdue teammate?
Yeah, that's where they went to school.
Yeah.
Taco
he went to UCF.
Taco went to UCF.
What am I thinking
Taco
of Purdue?
went to UCF.
Okay, but Carson Edwards, there was one player. Who went to Purdue? There was one player that I watched.
I don't know. There was some good
players. Carson Edwards.
I know Carson went.
Yeah. Okay, but Carson Edwards, I watched March Madness, but the main games that I knew that Carson Edwards was going to be raw. So I decided, hey, I'm going to go out and I'm going to watch this March Madness and I'll watch every game that Carson Edwards plays in. And that man killed it every single night. That guy is going to be a great player.
He is a bucket.
I don't think he's going to be that good in his first year because he's obviously going to be falling behind Kemba.
Guards. And the thing is, guards always are slow in their first year.
You know what I'm really mad about, though? How the Sixers didn't pick him. The Sixers would have been a great team to pick that man off, especially on the bench. They really needed some good shooters. They needed a player like him.
All right. So, are we prepared for our number 4?
Our number 4. Who do you got, Chuck?
I have the Nets.
I as well have the Nets.
I actually have the Pacers. The Pacers are going to be a great team.
The Pacers. Yeah, keep talking.
Okay, so the Pacers are going to be a very solid team. So the reason why the Pacers are so good is because not only do they have a top 10 lineup, starting lineup, I want to say this team: Brogdon, Oladipo, T.J. Warren, Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner, and then they have a fantastic bench in Jeremy Lamb. They have just all around a great team, and I think this team is highly underrated. And they really do have a chance to be one of the best teams in the league.
Okay, I just don't think that Miles Turner is going to be able to produce enough offensively at the forward position, and they're going to be leaning on Oladipo too much. Sabonis is all right, but he's not as good as people are saying. Oladipo, he's just a walking bucket, but
Oladipo is wrong.
They're gonna be leaning on him too much. Teams are gonna know what's coming. It's gonna get predictable.
I think Malcolm Brogdon. This is going to be a big year for Malcolm Brogdon because he's finally got the starting point guard spot. He's led the league in freaking free throw percentage last year, which was huge.
I heard you say that you think that they're not going to produce in forward. Let's not forget they picked up T.J. Warren, who was 18 points per game last year for the Suns. I know on a
good percentage shooting.
Yes, exactly. He's a very good player.
That's because teams would triple team Devin Booker.
And the thing is, DeMontis and Miles Turner have all the capabilities to be good offensive players. It's a matter of if they take the step, and this year we think they're going to take the step.
Exactly.
But it's the fourth.
I think they need one more year.
If you're a 4 seed, you're still a very good team. So.
I think they need one more year.
Okay. All right, number 3.
Number 3, I had the Boston Celtics.
I had the Pacers.
I actually had the Celtics. I think the Celtics are actually going to do very well in the regular season, but when it comes playoff time, they're going to get smacked.
They don't have the experience except for Kyrie. But let's be honest, that whole time
the Celtics.
Kemba.
Yeah. Kemba got swept.
Kemba got swept.
Yeah.
And the second most experienced person on that team is Enes Kanter. And Gordon Hayward. But Gordon Hayward,
Gordon Hayward hasn't played in so long. I think he's going to be a good player. I think he's going to have a little bit of a comeback here. But still, I don't think anyone can really come back from an injury like that. That was just a terrible
brutal.
Injury.
Mm-hmm. Okay, don't say nobody can because there's one person I need to come back.
Yeah. I think we all know that as Blazers fans. Nurkic.
Nurkic will come back.
Yusuf will come back and dominate.
He was a great center last year. Very underrated.
Different games because Gordon Hayward was the white guy who would run around and shoot threes. Nurkic just stands there.
And he was also a body.
He's also a body.
Yeah.
All right. So this is where it fluctuates. 1 and 2.
Ooh. All right.
Who y'all got?
Honestly, I could see either way.
No, let's go number 1 because
no. We need to go number 2.
We'll go number 2.
Okay.
Who we got?
76ers.
I agree, but here's why.
I said the Bucks.
Okay, I can see it.
said the
This
Bucks.
is the thing, though. I think the 76ers are going to be so good during the regular season because that team is bigger than any team. This might be one of the biggest teams of all time. Think about this.
But where's their shooting?
I know, but think about this. Ben Simmons at point. This guy is like 6'10", right?
There's your shooting.
He made
a three, okay.
They have Josh Richardson, who's actually a good 3-point shooter. He's a good defender.
He's probably look up his 3-point percentage.
He's a pretty solid player. But this guy is also a big shooting guard. He's a 6'6" shooting guard. That's a big dude. And then at small forward, Tobias Harris.
6'9".
This guy should be a power forward. This guy is a massive dude, and he is shooting threes. He's shooting the lights out. He's a great player. And then power forward, they have Al Horford,
the most underrated signing of the offseason.
And the best defensive player from the Celtics last year. This man is very underrated, and this team has a very good chance of being a very
Celtics. Who did the Celtics sweep first round?
Let's be honest.
The Celtics swept the Pacers, but that was because they didn't have Oladipo.
Yeah. So you know who they tried to play through? Sabonis and Turner.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who was guarding them? Al Horford.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah. Al Horford is a very underrated player.
Kyrie gets all the credit because Kyrie had like the 30-point games. But Al Horford is the reason.
And let's not forget, Al Horford also did a really good job at defending Giannis, who this Sixers team needs to defend.
I rated these teams.
That's the one thing missing for the Sixers team.
I rated the 76ers and the Bucks.
Shooting,
They're more of a 1A and 1B type of deal.
Honestly, yeah.
Like because I was like 51% sure that the Bucks were going to be the 1 seed as opposed to 49%.
I think they're better an all-around team.
The
But this Sixers team, you can't underrate. Not only they also have Embiid, who's year-round a candidate for MVP. Yeah. But let's also not forget that this guy misses a ton of games every season. I mean, I don't think he's played a full season in his entire career.
I think his highest.
I don't think he's never played above 70 games.
High 60s probably.
No.
High 60s.
No.
And also, let's not forget one of the most underrated players in the draft, Matisse Thybulle. This guy came out of, I believe, Washington. He was defensive player of the year. This guy is a monster. This guy can defend like no other.
His first year, he's probably getting 1.5 of each.
I think he's going to be a defensive player of the year candidate in the coming future. I think he's going to win multiple defensive player of the years. This guy is
just so gifted. Like if you look at him, he just looks like a defender. He's so long and athletic.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. It just sucked how he had to get exposed by Oregon whenever they played because Oregon's just better.
But just Matisse Thybulle, this guy is one of the most underrated players. I wanted Portland personally to sign this man. This guy was good.
I'm cool with Nasir.
I like Nasir, but Nasir is a little bit more of a project. This guy is straight out coming in as one of the best defenders.
Okay, but listen, once we develop this project in this year,
I think he's going to be great, of course. But I think Matisse Thybulle right now is where we need. We need right now because Dame and CJ are starting to get towards being a little bit older.
CJ
is still.
CJ's like 27.
Yeah, but as I said before, Matisse Thybulle is coming into the league as being one of the best defenders in the league. So that's what we need.
I wouldn't go that far. I'd say he's pretty. I'd say he's good. I wouldn't say he's one of the
best. He
averaged
in his first couple of games, he had like two steals and 2 blocks in each like 20 minutes.
We've had this conversation before.
It's the NBA preseason.
But still, in like 20 minutes.
Okay.
In 20 minutes, and that's starting. So it wasn't like he played against the scraps at the end.
Okay, hold on. Have you seen teams roast the Lakers Twitter and Instagram account because they're getting hyped over the preseason?
But that's different.
Consider this a warning. Consider this a preseason.
I want you guys to hear this. The preseason is a place to showcase your players.
No,
it's not a place to showcase your team.
It's really not.
Obviously, it doesn't
Ben
matter.
Simmons is taking pull-up 28-foot three
and draining them, which is why Sixers are my 1 seed.
Okay. All right, let's get to the 1 seed for Fletcher.
We haven't talked about the Bucks.
Oh, we haven't talked about
because that's your 1 seed.
Giannis Antetokounmpo is just
gonna be the MVP.
He'll be back to back. He'll be back to
back. And a defensive player of the year.
Kyle Korver's out there teaching him how to shoot. Kyle Korver's probably
and Chris Middleton. He's teaching Chris Middleton.
Kyle Korver's probably the second best person I could have signed. The first was JJ Redick.
You just think about how this team meshes together, and it is so perfect.
They love each other.
They are
a tight knit.
You have Chris Middleton, Kyle Korver, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
He's one of the best leaders in the NBA.
I'm so happy that they signed Robin too, because I think Robin fits in perfectly with how this team is going to play and how they act, their chemistry.
I think another underrated signing, all right, was actually Wesley Matthews. All right,
Wesley Matthews was a good signing.
I think they shouldn't have gotten rid of Brogdon because I think Brogdon's going to be a
That's
great,
the one thing.
Brogdon's
That's actually the reason why they're at my 2.
I can see it, but But personally, they still have George Hill. They now have Wesley Matthews, who also adds on the defensive ends of things.
Wesley Matthews is a unit.
Mm-hmm. And he has Kyle Korver. He has Dragon Bender. That's who I was thinking.
Dragon Bender.
Yeah, but Dragon Bender is getting better.
No, he's not.
No, he's
Trust
not.
me, he'll be okay.
No, he's not.
All right.
Yes, he'll average 5 points a game.
They have Eric Bledsoe at point guard, who I'm personally not that much of a
I
fan of.
love Eric Bledsoe.
I like
Love
Brogdon
Eric
better. I
Bledsoe.
like Brogdon better.
Hustle defender.
It's not like he's a
Little guy.
top.
Hustle defender.
It's not like he's a top 5 point
I
guard.
know he's a hustle.
But
I like
he does
Brogdon.
what
I like Brogdon.
he does what he needs to do. He does what needs to be
works
done.
harder than probably any guard.
I would have loved to see him
Okay,
in the
I
90s.
wouldn't say any guard.
I would
Any
love
guard
to
in
see
the
him in the
league
90s.
on defense.
On
defense, he works harder than any guard.
defense, yes.
Drew Holiday.
Bro.
Drew Holiday is
Holiday.
an insane defender.
Yeah.
Don't
like, I
disrespect
don't think
Drew Holiday's.
Drew Holiday's got good skill, but
he was the
Bledsoe
reason.
works.
No,
He's
but
so
Drew worked.
Drew Holiday is the reason that the Blazers got swept a couple years ago.
Yeah,
That's true.
that was him.
But
And
it
Rondo.
was Rondo. Let's
was
not forget
Rondo.
Rondo is still one of the best. He was
true.
one of the best defensive guards in the league at the point.
Mhm.
They had everything they needed to destroy that Blazers team. They had Anthony Davis,
Because we couldn't guard
very
him.
athletic,
Couldn't guard
big.
him.
They had Drew Holiday and Rajon Rondo,
To
who were
lock
just
up Dame
murdering Dame. And then they had CJ, and then CJ really I think
It was
CJ
his- it
realized
was
that
his
was his underperformance.
He needed to step up, and he did.
And he did. He stepped up in 2019.
He stepped
for the
up. He
playoffs.
stepped up this year, not a few years ago.
Yeah,
when we got
he
swept.
steps up this year big time.
All right, that's a perfect segue into the Western Conference, boys.
All
All right,
let's
Western
see.
Conference.
Number
Who
15.
you guys are
Number
gonna
15.
Thunder. It's the Thunder.
Okay,
No,
I
it's
don't
the
have the
Thunder.
Thunder.
It's the Thunder.
I don't have the Thunder.
It's
You know
the
who I
Thunder.
have? I have the Grizzlies.
I know you have the Grizzlies.
No.
The Grizzlies.
Aren't
The
that bad.
Grizzlies are a
The
bad
Grizzlies
team.
are not that
But
bad.
no, I want you guys to
Grizzlies
think about this.
Okay,
all right.
Think about the Thunder. Okay, they're gonna blow up. They're gonna trade Chris Paul at some point during
If they
the year.
do blow up, I agree they will be at
They
the
have
15th seed.
to.
But I don't think
They
they
have
want to trade.
I
Chris
respect Danilo Gallinari, but I
They-
don't think he can carry a team.
they
Paul. They
can
also
get
have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and they have.
Shea Gildress Alexander.
Okay, I don't know how
All
to
right,
pronounce
listen,
his name.
okay.
He is a very solid player. They have
I'll give
what's his
you-
name?
I'll give
They
you
have
that.
Andre Robertson coming back. They still have
Trash.
Listen, okay.
great defender.
Trash.
He is a top 10
I could
defender.
trash.
He is a top 10
Definitely
defender.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Okay,
Andre
listen.
so good at
Roberson.
defense.
Andre
Kevin
Roberson
Durant
is
said the two of the best defenders in the league are PJ Tucker and Andre Roberson.
When did he say this?
He said this. I saw a quote. I don't
Years
remember
ago?
where it was,
Years
but it was
ago.
soon. It was soon. This man is a beast.
It was
I think.
years. It was years.
I think you guys are
Because
sleeping
Andre
on it.
Roberson hasn't
All right,
played
listen.
2 years, so it's been years.
Listen though, you got to think about OKC. They're probably gonna end up
I
imagine
personally
if
have
Chris
them at
Paul.
13. I still have one team under. I think.
Imagine
we all know what
Which
team
is
I
the
have.
Suns.
The Suns.
The
The
Suns.
Suns.
We'll talk about them later. We'll talk.
They won't
keep,
work.
Keep talking.
Yeah, no.
Keep talking.
OKC, they're gonna trade Chris Paul.
Chris Paul's gone.
I
could-
think they might
yeah,
actually trade them to
They would-
the Bucks, is what people are saying.
No,
The
I
only
could
thing-
see it.
The only thing that I think gives the Thunder hope is the fact that Steven Adams is still there, and
No,
Steven Adams
the
actually
thing that
gets to
gives
get
them
his
hope
own rebounds.
I
It's
think-
their picks.
I
They
think-
have like 30 picks in the
Yeah,
next
no.
couple of years.
But they
Yeah.
could get more picks if they trade
But
Chris
that's
Paul.
not
And
foreseeable.
one team, hold on, one team I think Chris Paul could actually go to, and this would actually rock the league.
the Magic.
No, the Lakers.
no.
Chris Paul could go to the Lakers
Please.
and
no.
rock the
No.
rock the
That'd be
league.
huge.
But they have
And
too many
rock the
passers
league.
on that team
No,
already.
the
They have too many
Lakers-
passers
the
on that team
Lakers-
already.
LeBron. Can
The
do
Lakers, they trade Rondo.
He did it.
They
in
trade
Miami.
Rondo and a first round pick for Chris Paul. Think about that. Rondo and a first round pick for Chris Paul.
I don't
just
see it.
works.
I don't see it.
I
I think
could
honestly,
see
I would
You'd
rather
have
see
to give
the
him a few
Clippers
first
take
round
him. I
picks.
would rather see the Clippers take him because
Well-
the Clippers they need a passer.
Chris
If you think
Paul's
about
not going to
it, they need
draw.
a passer.
And Chris Paul, he'll work for you on defense.
Chris Paul's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
going to
he
draw
buys
more
it.
than
He
one
buys it.
first round pick.
I think
because
the
he's
Clippers
just
would be
too
the perfect
old.
team for Chris Paul to go to.
He buys in.
No,
I'll give
because
him that.
Pat Beverly, they're not going to. They're
Pat
not
Bev
going
can
to.
come off the bench.
They're not
Pat
going to.
Beverly-
Six,
Pat Bev.
6'7" man.
They're not going
Him
to.
and Lou Will.
They need
Who they
to
have a
make a
starting
seven.
shooting guard again?
they need
can
to-
have him play
Landry
shooting guard
Landry
too.
Shamet.
No
Landry
need-
Shamet.
Oh no, I think Landry Shamet might come off the bench.
Then
too.
they'll need to make a seventh
who's
man
starting
of
at
the
shooting?
award from
Lou Will?
You can have Pat Bev.
Well, now you can if you trade for Chris Paul.
Yeah, if you're trading for Chris Paul, I think they should
Chris
trade
Paul,
for Chris
Paul going back to LA.
But I still feel okay. I want to explain myself for the Grizzlies at 15.
Yeah.
I think you guys are overrating this team. I think you guys are buying into the John Morant hype too early. I think he's not going to be as great as you guys think he is.
We just had a discussion about this.
He's very
I don't
good.
think John Morant's going to be that good.
He's not going to be that good his first year.
He's not going to be
and then
that
all
good.
they have,
He's not
have is Jaren Jackson and Jonas
That's what I'm buying
Valanciunas.
into.
They only
That's
have
what I'm buying
they have
into.
those two players, and that's it. Think about that team. That team is not good.
And
They traded Mike Conley.
Yeah,
who's their
and
best
it's
player.
like the Thunder have LeBron James. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but still,
Like,
this
dude,
team,
no.
this team is not
The
going to be
Grizzlies
that good.
pieces are so much better.
This team is not going to be
Grizzlies
that
pieces
good.
are so much better.
All right, but let's talk about the Suns. Where are you guys at?
And
I got him
you
at 14.
can't forget. Hold on, Nick. You can't forget Iggy's on Memphis.
Yeah, they're going to trade him.
He's gone.
They're going to trade
He's
him.
gone.
They're going to trade him.
Let's be honest. He's
No.
Yeah, no, I had the Grizzlies at 13. I had the Suns.
I
And
honestly
then Josh
think, you know what,
Jackson-
honestly, wait, can I say
You
something
guys
real
are
quick?
forgetting-
Josh Jackson's bad.
You guys are
But
forgetting
let me say
about
something.
all of
Let me say
these
something.
young,
All right,
crazy
Andre
pieces of
Iguodala
the Grizzlies.
could have the impact that I think every team wants, and I think Iguodala could be a breaker. I think if he goes to literally
want
any
Iggy
team
on
in the
the Blazers.
Western Conference,
I want
they
Iggy
could
on
have
the-
a chance
I want
at
Iggy on
making
the
the finals.
Blazers.
Think about this. He goes to the Clippers. They have the three best players at defending LeBron James. He goes to the Lakers, and that team is also insane at defense. All right. He goes to the Blazers. That team gets exactly what they need at the small forward defensive position. That team. He goes to the Rockets, and boom, they have a
Nick,
very good
I'm
defensive small
right
forward.
there with you, but the thing is, one, Iguodala is getting older.
But
And
he's
no,
still
I'm
a
not
defensive
done.
anchor.
Shut up. One, Iguodala is getting older.
But he's still a defensive anchor.
Okay, I'll see you that. Two, if he's that much of a defensive anchor, why would teams trade their young core for a 1-year rental
Honestly-
if it's not guaranteed because the league is so
You
unpredictable?
know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say I don't think teams want to do that right now, and I think the
So that's not
Grizzlies are
gonna
going to
happen.
give in.
So the
I
Grizzlies-
think the Grizzlies are going to give in. I think
Grizzlies
they're
are
going to
gonna
be like, okay, well,
Grizzlies
no
are
one's
either
trying
gonna
to
have
doing
to deal with
anything.
him.
I think we're just going to be like, I guess we're going to trade him. We're going to
Why get rid of him
though?
though? Why get rid of him?
Why?
Because why? How is Iggy?
If you're gonna get just
He's
trash
a
pieces,
great
why
veteran
get rid of
mentor.
They
him?
need pieces.
Yeah, but
He's a-
if the pieces are second round picks, why would you give in?
Iggy's a
They're not. They're not going to get first round picks. For him.
He's not worth.
He's
the first
35. They're
round.
not going to get first round picks.
All right, Iggy. Also, they need him for mentorship. They have
Exactly.
great young forwards.
Josh Jackson could be good.
Josh
Josh
Jackson,
Jackson's a power
Jared
forward, right?
Jackson.
That's Jaren Jackson.
Jaren
Jaren
Jackson.
Jackson.
Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson, the guy who got picked fourth by the Suns a few years ago
Oh yeah.
from Kansas.
Josh Jackson still has all the potential that he had coming out of college.
So many Jacksons.
There it is.
It was Jay Jackson's.
All right,
All right. The Suns. Let's talk about the
Okay,
Suns.
Suns.
All right.
it's a one-man show.
This team, I can see them making it up to the 13 or the 12, but this team is still bad. All right. I think Rubio is the right pick for them
I
for
think
point guard.
That
I
is
think he's actually going to be.
that's fair, but I think Rubio's the dumbest pick they could have had because Rubio requires the ball.
That's true.
Devin Booker requires the ball.
DeAndre Ayton requires the ball.
But okay, let's be real here. Devin Booker, I think is one of. I still think you guys know this. I still
Yeah,
think
you
he's one of the
think
most
you
underrated.
hate him.
I think he's one of the most overrated players in the NBA. This
You're not
guy,
wrong.
he is so bad at defense. I mean, you could go and look at
he's
his
very
advanced stats,
inefficient.
and he gives away more
Very
points
inefficient.
than he actually gives back. You know, like he is that bad. At defense.
He's like the NBA equivalent of Jameis Winston on the Buccaneers. He
Yeah.
turns the ball over an unholy amount, but he also scores a lot. And
See, but
it goes both ways.
he is just he's a great scorer. Don't get me wrong, but that guy is not going anywhere.
And
unless he
that's
gets
why
on
they're
the
so
defense.
low.
Yeah.
Because he needs to find a way to adapt
At least
to that.
defend
At least
slightly
like just get it.
And like Rubio's also a bad defender. He's not that good at defense.
No, he's not.
DeAndre Ayton's their only
He
defender.
actually did do
And
pretty
he
well
can't-
against guarding.
He's
Hughes.
not a great.
He did
defender.
do a pretty good job against guarding Harden with the behind the back
Yeah.
to try and block Harden.
No,
it actually did scare
that
Harden.
was smart.
It
because-
actually did scare Harden.
Yeah, because you saw that Manu Ginobili block a few years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
No, because the thing is, you will give Harden the 2 and not a step back 3. So staying in front of him prevents the step back.
Exactly.
Which
Exactly.
was smart.
He actually played pretty
Number
smart.
13.
I had the Grizzlies.
I have the Pelicans.
I had
Wow!
No.
The Pels
I have
at
the Pelicans.
13.
I have him at 10.
I have the Pelicans.
I have them at 10
Okay,
as well.
I have OKC at the 13. I still think this team has a good future because they have just that many
We
picks.
talked
They have
about
They have
that many
size.
picks. We've talked about
But
it.
I think we can move on to.
No, we're
your
talking about the
We
Pelicans.
need to talk about
Are
the
you
Pelicans.
kidding me?
Lonzo still can't shoot. He's a great defender.
You're
Good,
shooting for him.
Great passer.
he's a great defender, great passer.
And I think he knows that he's going
Great
to give up the
lob
shooting
city
to
passer.
JJ.
but
To Zion.
And Zion.
And Brandon Ingram.
and Zion, He's
And
out for the
Josh
first
Jackson
while of the season. Have you not heard
Jackson
this?
Hayes?
Zion is injured right now.
For the first couple of weeks, but he might be out for the first couple of months.
He's out for the first couple of
Just a
weeks, so
few
that's going to get him off to
Just a few weeks. But
It's
let's
gonna-
not forget.
that's going to get him off to a bad start. It's
Worse
gonna
than the
affect-
Grizzlies.
Don't
it's
get me
gonna
wrong,
affect their
I
chemistry.
love Zion. I think he's such a great person. And I really hope that
Oh,
he has
he's
a good.
hilarious.
I think he has a
love
great
him.
NBA career.
I love Zion.
But
He's very humble.
it would break my heart to see him go down like Brandon Roy. I mean, not Brandon Roy. I mean, what's his name? Greg Oden.
Greg Oden.
I don't. That's not.
He's just a big,
Greg Oden had
big
link-
man.
Greg Oden had link.
His knees. You
His-
notice he has two
but-
injuries
dude,
on his
his
knees
body
in, like,
can't
the last
support
couple
his
of
Greg-
years.
But Greg Oden actually had like, if you read up on what happened, he had one leg shorter than the other, so
Yeah,
that's
but
why
like-
his knees gave out
Yeah, but
because his
Also-
his body weight distribution.
if you think
Yeah.
about Zion,
Shut up.
Zion is like the second heaviest player in the NBA, and he's
Behind
literally-
Taco Fall.
and he is
It's Boban. But yeah.
It's
No, Taco
Boban.
Fall.
Okay, then he's third.
Okay,
Yeah,
then he's
no,
third.
Taco Fall is
But-
310.
But he's nowhere near the tallest. His frame is too
He's
large
6'5",
to be
yeah.
supported
I think he needs to
by
lose. I think
his
he needs to
knees.
He's gotta
lose
lose
at
a
least
He needs
20
to,
pounds.
gotta lose a little
instead,
bit, right?
and he's in New Orleans
He
too.
could
It's
be
not
a-
going to
he
help
could
with all
be a
the
Charles
gumbo
Barkley.
and
That
everything.
gumbo.
You know, I really
He's
think
not
he could
Gumbo.
be the next
He's
Charles
the next
Barkley.
coming of Charles Barkley.
He is such a good player, but he really needs to keep his
He
weight
has
in
a
check.
he has
But
a
the thing
chance
is-
to beat Charles Barkley
the
with
thing
a
is-
jump shot.
You
No,
think of the
about it.
Pelicans, you think
43-inch
about Zion.
vertical and then landing 285 on your knees.
But the thing
every
is,
single time you jump.
you're forgetting this is about the Pelicans, not just Zion. The
Okay.
Pelicans have many other pieces.
They
other
do.
than Zion.
They have Redick. They have Lonzo. They have
Jackson Hayes, Drew Holiday.
Jackson Hayes. Exactly. What's his name?
Drew Holiday's getting old.
Who was raw for the Lakers for a little while? Josh
Hart.
Josh Hart. Exactly.
I
Josh
don't
Hart
think-
killed it.
I just don't think
I
they're
think
gonna
JJ
be able to
Redick's
put
the
it
perfect
together.
mentor for
You're
Josh Hart.
putting the Lakers team that was a 20-win team, and you're putting them on a different team and giving them JJ Redick and Drew Holiday.
See, but that team
it's
still.
not going to do
And
much.
Jackson Hayes and Zion.
Okay, yeah, Zion's going to be injured for half the year because
It's
his,
a good thing-
because he
it's
can't
I still think
support
this
his
team has
body
a good
weight.
chance of being good. But I think we should move on to number 12.
I don't. We never said we thought they'd make the playoffs, but we don't think they're going to be as
Yeah,
bad as the Grizzlies.
exactly. Let's go to number 12.
Number
Who do
12,
you guys
I
have
have
12?
Sacramento.
I have the Timberwolves.
I have the Timberwolves. How do you have the Sacramento? I have them at 9. Sacramento has so many good
I have
pieces.
Sacramento next.
Yeah, so
They have so many good
Yeah.
pieces. You know what? There's
Yeah.
one thing about Sacramento.
Buddy
that we
Hield's
don't
going
have.
to get
Buddy Hield's
Buddy
gonna-
Hield might get traded.
He's gonna get
But
traded.
let's talk about this though.
Yeah.
The only thing that they really don't have on that lineup is a bench and
The
a center. They need a center. They need a center. But Marvin Bagley is raw. That guy is a great player.
Marvin Bagley.
Then don't forget about their point guard.
And then De'Aaron Fox, yeah.
De'Aaron Fox
Probably
is
the
one of the
fastest player in the
fastest
NBA.
players in the NBA.
Where is their defense?
But Marvin Bagley's a good defender.
Okay, you got one good
And then,
defender out of 4
De'Aaron Fox
people.
De'Aaron Fox is a great defender. He's a
quick.
scrappy defender.
He's
a great
quick.
defender.
He's quick.
He's swiper.
And he's a
He's
scrappy
swiper.
defender. He's a scrappy
Alright.
defender. But
he can't do anything against more physical guards.
They don't
they don't have a forward.
They don't have
And
a
I,
bench.
dude, I have them one up. It's not like I'm
Yeah.
saying like you're 100%.
Honestly, I have the
It's like, I agree with
Timberwolves
you.
at 12.
I have the Timberwolves at 12.
I think the Timberwolves are still one of the worst teams.
You know
I don't
why?
think that team. They don't
I-
have a point guard.
Here's,
They don't
have a point guard.
I have
For one,
Memphis at 12.
Jeff Teague has been a very, other than Atlanta, he's been a very bad point guard. Here's why I think the Timberwolves take such a step back. Karl Anthony Towns, I don't think he's going to get any better for a while.
I don't think so either.
The criticism for Andrew Wiggins this offseason has
Is gonna
been
be
huge. It's
Yeah.
been worse than it's ever been because
I agree.
everybody is nitpicking and saying you're the number one pick and you have not gotten better since your rookie year.
Everybody said he was going to be the next Kobe. and he just hasn't gotten better.
He has not.
He's actually gotten worse.
He's gonna
regressed
He's
every
gotten
year.
worse.
He
Has
is going
regressed
to take so many shots, and it is going to throw them off horribly.
But I still.
Yeah.
So
You know,
incredibly horribly.
They also
He's
got
gonna be
back.
Wiggins doesn't do anything else.
They
other
got
than
back
shoot.
Robert Covington, and Robert Covington is a really underrated
Robert
player.
Covington's a great
I
player.
think I think they still have a chance. They're going to be better than last year, but they're still going to be a bad team.
I don't
I think
they're
they
gonna be
should
better
trade.
than
I
last
think
year.
they should trade Rocco, and they should try and get picks.
I really feel sorry for Jarrett Culver because he's a great young player,
Yeah.
probably the best 3-and-D player coming out of the draft.
Yeah.
And he is getting stuck with a small forward who will not play defense.
Yep.
And
Chucks the ball.
a subpar passing point guard,
and just terrible
and
defense.
a ball dominant center,
And then all
and a
of
terrible defense,
everyone on that team is bad at defense,
And-
they really don't have a good
and
defense.
a coach
at all.
of Tom Thibodeau,
except for Rocco.
where you're a young player and you're going to overwork your body too much as a rookie
Yeah.
because your coach will play you 40 minutes a game as a rookie.
Exactly.
He's
Okay.
Tom Thibodeau's
Tom
terrible.
Thibodeau needs to get canned.
All right. So wait, who did you say was at 12? You said your Kings. I just deeply disagree with that.
I had the Kings at 11.
I deeply disagree.
11.
11, I had the Kings.
11, I had Memphis.
You guys are gonna get
That's high.
That's
for
really
Memphis.
high. That's really high.
11.
I don't think Jackson and Valanciunas can carry them that high.
I
Exactly.
think they can.
But
I have
you know
faith
who I
in
have at 11? You guys
Valanciunas
are gonna get mad at
mainly.
me. You guys are gonna get mad at me.
Just say it.
The Mavericks. That Mavericks team has no. Think about this.
I won't get mad at you.
They
I'm not
have
that
Seth
mad.
Curry, who's a good point guard. They have Luka Doncic, who's a good shooting guard. What?
Seth Curry's not going to start.
He's a very solid point guard.
He's not going to start.
It's
though.
just that
Who
Kristaps
else are
hasn't
they gonna
played
have
in
starting?
2 years.
They have Kristaps.
Kristaps hasn't played in
That
2 years.
team, other than they have Boban at center. All right, and don't get me wrong, I love Boban. Boban's a great guy,
start.
but he's gonna start.
Boban
They
starting.
have no center. They have no center.
They have the Twin Towers starting in Kristaps and
What's
Boban.
Roster. No, because I swear they don't have Boban starting at center. I would know this.
Who would they have?
Dude, if Boban was starting at center, I'd be so.
Boban is going to
excited.
start at center for the Dallas Mavericks.
They have
and
Dwight
they're gonna-
Powell. Dwight Powell will start at center.
Okay, well, Dwight Powell's still
Dwight
not that good.
Dwight Powell's a
But
boss, dude.
That
He's
team,
good.
the team just isn't good, and they have no
Dwight Powell
bench.
should play.
That team just not good.
No, they don't have a bench.
I
And
think
they're still young.
I think they're too young yet. I think they need more pieces. I just don't see it. I just don't see them being that good.
So, let's move on.
I think they'll be better than like all the teams we've talked about, obviously. But
Obviously.
like, I think they're still better than the Pelicans and the Kings.
Yeah,
I don't think they're better than Kings
I think they are.
I think they're better than the
I
Kings.
think they are.
because I mean,
Because
really.
Kristaps is bona fide.
But you're also forgetting about what's his name off the bench, Bogdanovich, who's also really good. He's raw. That guy comes in clutch, and they have.
Yeah, but dude, it's been like that for 3 years. He's had his moments, and then he doesn't do anything.
But still,
other than
he's
that.
a very solid bench player. I think that team is still going to
He's
be
a
very
very
good. I think they're going to be
streaky
a
bench player.
ninth. I think they're going to be the ninth seed, and I think
No.
I think we should talk about. You said who's your 11, Fletcher?
My 11, wait. It was Memphis.
Yeah, we talked.
Oh, yeah.
we
No,
talked
I just
about
don't
that.
see it at
Let's
all.
go to 10.
Let's go to 10. I have the
Pelicans.
I have the Pelicans.
Yeah.
I had the T-Wolves for the reason that I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to be sort of like an equivalent to Bradley Beal, and he'll carry the
That's
T-Wolves past
see
all
that.
the garbage.
And they have Rocco.
I
And they have Rocco.
I can
And
see
they
that.
Rocco.
I just don't want to choose to believe that.
I just
Yeah.
don't see it.
Yeah.
All right, nine. I have the Mavericks.
I have the Kings.
9, I have the Spurs. I have
Wow,
them
you
just.
think they
the
break it?
Spurs.
You think they break
Who's
it
going to
right
go
here?
8?
You think they?
I have Dallas at 8.
No.
No, Dallas
No
is too young to
way,
make the
man. They're
playoffs.
too young to
Dallas
make
is
the
too young to
playoffs.
make the
I
playoffs.
think.
They're
I
not-
think.
they're not good enough
I
yet.
think Pop's window has closed.
I think I got Spurs.
No, I want you guys to think about
I
this.
think Pop's
That team
playoff
still.
window
They
is
have
closed.
DeMar. DeMar's a very solid player. He just doesn't have a 3.
DeMar can't
They have
shoot.
LaMarcus. LaMarcus is getting older.
Lamar-
I understand that.
LaMarcus
But they
is
have
Derek-
DeJounte Murray.
Derek White.
DeJounte Murray
DeJounte
is
Murray.
literally one of the
DeJounte
rawest
Murray
players
is an
from last.
insane
He
defender.
is so good,
He's an
and he's
insane
coming back.
defender.
I think they're still going to make the playoffs. I think
They
they're
don't
going to make
have-
the 8 seed. No
they
bias,
don't
but they're
have-
going to make the 8 seed.
They don't have any offense except for LaMarcus Aldridge, and
And DeMar.
he's getting old.
And Derek
DeMar-
White and DeJounte
Derek
Murray is
White
still a
can
pretty
shoot.
good shooter.
They still got Rudy Gay coming off the
Yeah,
bench.
Rudy Gay is still a solid player. They have a very solid team. They're going to make the playoffs.
They don't have
for sure.
They don't have enough
Rudy Gay was said
offensively.
to like be the equivalent to Kevin Durant.
They don't.
Can
They
we
don't.
just talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Like he's really
Okay.
He's played
he's
for a long
good,
time.
and you could say he doesn't really have flaws in his offensive game because he's kind of like mediocre in everything.
There's
he's a
been
good defender.
there's been a lot
And
of
he's a decent.
there's been a
defender,
lot
but,
of
like,
terrible picks in league history and a lot of terrible call outs. Darko Milicic was taken second
yeah.
over Melo and Wade and Bosch.
And then
So-
don't forget who was
Anthony
picked
Bennett.
over
Anthony
MJ.
Bennett.
Don't
It's
forget
not
who
that
was picked
shocking.
over MJ.
Sam Bowie.
Oh god,
Sam
still.
Bowie. Don't forget who was picked over KD.
Stop.
Dude, but that was
Dude,
injuries.
Odin was gonna be so good. He was so raw.
Dude,
Odin
if
was
you
good.
saw him play post injury, like he was good.
He was so good. I just think
I miss Odin.
Yeah, let's move on. 8.
Alright.
We got the Spurs.
I have Dallas.
Okay.
I just,
Okay.
I think
we've talked about these two
we've
teams enough.
talked about
I think
all
we
these
can go
teams.
up to the
Alright,
7.
alright.
7 through 1
It's
is
literally
it's
tough.
literally
Literally
impossible.
tough.
So we're
It's
gonna start
literally-
yelling at each other.
Okay,
7.
7 Utah.
I agree. Okay, I like the Jazz.
He's
don't get me
mad.
wrong.
He's
I know.
mad.
Don't get
I'm
me
not
wrong.
mad. You
Don't
guys
get
are
me
just gonna kill me.
No,
Who?
don't get me wrong.
Who?
Let me say.
No, just keep
Okay,
going. Keep
I
going.
think the Jazz are a very solid team. All right, they have Mike Conley. They have
Rudy Gobert.
Obviously,
Donovan
Donovan-
Mitchell, Bogdanovich.
Bojan.
That's what I said. Bojan Bogdanovic.
And they have
Rudy Gobert.
Jingles.
Rudy
They
Gobert.
have, I think Jeff Green, and they have
Jeff Green.
Davis coming off the bench, and they have Rudy
They got
Gobert, who's one of
Davis.
the best defenders in the league.
It took him so long
But-
to mention the defensive player of the year.
This team is a good team.
It's a
But
great team.
I think they could actually be 1 through 7. Honestly, they could be a very good team. But honestly, I have them at the 7.
I just
think
don't.
it's too
I just
difficult to
don't
put them
see
anywhere
how
else.
they're going to mesh that. Way.
I have Portland.
Oh, screw you! Screw you!
I hate you. I hate you.
Here's my reason.
I hate you so much right
Here is
now.
my reasoning. I will compare Portland to all of the other 1 through 6, and I will tell you why Portland will not be ranked as higher.
Okay,
Go
let's go. Who's your guys' number 6?
The Warriors.
I have the Warriors as well.
I had the Warriors.
Wow,
Nice.
Hey.
We finally
But
agreed.
I have the Blazers above the Warriors for a good reason.
So here's my reasoning. First off, Warriors always kick the Blazers' butts every year.
But they don't have Clay.
Listen to
They
me.
don't have Clay.
Listen to me.
They don't have Clay or
Listen to
KD.
me.
After him, I'm going to respond.
Clay
Let me say
is
it.
not the one who kills us. It is Draymond and it is Steph, and Steph does not have to share the ball this year. That is a scary thought.
Okay, but let me say this.
D'Angelo Russell has also always killed the Blazers. You know why? Because it is very difficult for shut up and let me talk. It is very difficult for the Blazers to guard D'Angelo Russell's style of basketball.
Let me just
because
say one thing.
CJ and Dame are not great ball handling
Let me just
defenders.
say one thing.
Go for it.
No, let me
The
say. I was
Warriors,
going to say the next thing.
the Blazers don't play the Warriors 82 games out of the year. They play them 4 times.
Yes, I know.
They play them 4 times.
I understand.
The Blazers match up against other teams better than the Warriors do. And that is just
We will
fact.
get to my other
Okay,
teams.
but let me say this. All right,
Because
you know
the-
who?
the Blazers.
You know why
the
you're
Blazers
sleeping?
division.
Okay, you say
The Blazers
that. You
division.
say that. You always say that Curry and Draymond beat us. That's true, but Curry is a good defender. All right, he's a mediocre defender.
He just sits in the passing lanes.
Clay was their entire defense. That other than Draymond. Of course.
Draymond Green?
Clay,
What?
Clay.
Back-to-back
No,
defensive-
against us. Clay murders our guards every single time he plays us. He
That
is
is
so
true.
good defensively, and now they don't have anyone to stop Dame or CJ. Think about
He's
that.
coming.
They don't have anyone to stop Dame or CJ.
Steph is not
And
gonna
now,
stop Dame.
and now
He'll
we
come
have
back at the end.
now we have the paint monsters in both Hassan,
He
you
said it.
called it, and Nurk.
Sorry.
All right,
I
and
told you
then
he was
we
gonna
have
talk
shot
about Hassan.
blockers in
I
Zach
told you he was
Collins.
gonna talk
We
about
have
Hassan.
we have Rodney Hood. He's another
Can you
great.
stop touching me?
He's
God.
another great 3-point shooter. All
Okay,
right,
yeah, no. Rodney Hood,
I think this team is going
he's
to be
gonna
very
break
good.
out. Rodney Hood's gonna average 16 this year. He's gonna average like 16, 6,
just-
and 4.
I want to see it, guys. As a Blazers fan, I want them to do well.
They're going to do better. I guarantee you they're going to do better.
Number 5. This is by far the hardest team for me to decide. It's the Rockets.
Yeah,
I had the Rockets at 4.
I had the Rockets.
I had them
at
one
5.
ahead of my
I had
Blazers.
them at 5.
Did you have the Blazers?
I had the Blazers at 5.
Okay, so
I think the Rockets are going to be good because both of those players are going to try and get MVP, and you know they're going to go off during the regular season. But during the playoffs, I think that team's going to suck. I think that team's going to.
They're not going to mix well.
because I think their
They're not
starting
gonna mix
5 is probably one of the top 5 starting lineups
You're
in the league.
you're going to mix the 2 most inefficient players in the NBA, in Harden and Westbrook, and it's going to look flashy. It's going to look cool, but it's not going to work. It's not
The
going
thing
to work.
is, they consistently find themselves in the playoffs as the best players on their team, despite their inefficiency. So I don't know what to make of
But
this.
that's because they put up stats.
You're
all right?
going
They
to
put up
double the
stats.
inefficiency.
But people are
that
also
doesn't
forgetting
mean they're
about the
efficient.
inefficiency.
You can say Kobe was inefficient his last year. Like he took
Kobe shot.
50 shots and made like 20 of them his last game. Got
Well, that's
like
of
60
course. That's
points.
his last year. Everybody
and they
wanted.
still won the game.
He
It's
got.
like
He still shot 44% from the field. I looked at that game the other day. All right, he still had a good game.
Yeah,
That
he-
game's kinda
Kobe had a
underrated.
good game.
Yeah, he was inefficient, but yeah.
Kobe's last few years in the game, I just want to
44%
say,
is still good.
he averaged 36% shooting and 24% from 3 his
Yeah,
last
who?
few years in the
Or
league.
last
Kobe
team.
Bryant.
Yeah, it was not that good then.
He was not that good.
I just don't know what to make.
But still, I still think
Love
it's
Clint Capella. Love Clint Capella.
Oh yeah, Clint Capella
I
is
like
the only
Clint Capella.
Rocket
I've always
I
liked
like.
him, but
Besides like Aaron Gordon, kind of.
I still think the Blazers are going to be that 5th seed, and I think the Rockets are going to be that 4th seed. All right, and the reason why I have the Blazers so
I
high
got it.
is because by the end of the season, we're going to have the Twin Towers, all right? We're going to have Dame and CJ and Rodney running together.
We're going to have Clay back.
We're going to have
and your
Bazemore.
entire argument about why the Warriors aren't as good as the Blazers is going to
Clay's not going to be Clay's not going to be
Warriors won't be able to guard the
deep
Blazers
after the
in the
All-Star
post.
break. All right, and then Nurkic's going to come back late January.
Nurkic has that early timetable. Yeah.
So Nurkic is going to come back early, and we're going to actually do really well by the end of the season. So Nurkic's going to come back, and he's obviously going to have a deep impact on us right away. All right, and then we also have Bazemore off the bench.
You can't say obviously,
but listen to this: Bazemore is going to come off the bench.
Well, then we have Zach Collins.
I know Bazemore has had a hard time really playing for past teams. But
he's been in Atlanta.
He's a good defender. Very, very solid defender.
Ken Bazemore is...
And I think that's what we needed at the guard position, because we've never really had that good of a guard defender, you know? And other than Wesley Matthews.
Wesley Matthews, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But, like, I still think he's going to be great help off the bench, obviously. I think he might play small forward, too. He's 6'5". I think he's a little short, but he's going to be able to play the small forward.
Yeah, really let's move on.
All right,
so my number 4 was Portland.
I had the Jazz.
My number 4 was
Portland. So our top 3. Okay.
Our top 3 is all
at 3.
The Los Angeles Lakers.
I got the Clippers.
I had the Clippers, too.
And here's why. Don't get me wrong.
Paul George. Those 10 games, I think they're going to go 5-5 because they don't have Paul George, and I think that in turn is going to, like, the little small gap,
tiny amount.
The tiny amount of games.
Maybe
it's a 2-game difference between the 3 seed and the 1 seed. I think that's it.
I think this team is going to be one of the greatest teams of all time. Defensively, this team
they probably already are the best
defensive team ever.
Like, think about it.
Like, I've not played with them in 2K yet. It's impossible to dribble.
People seem to be forgetting they kept their best players from last year in Lou Williams and Montrez.
And then they added Kawhi.
And they added Kawhi and PG.
Who
and
they
have
both Defensive Player of the Year.
And they still have Patrick Beverly, obviously, who's a monster on
and then Lou Will.
And they have Landry Shamet, who's a great shooter.
Added Maurice Harkless, who's not a bad defender
He was the best wing defender on the Portland last year. He shut down PG. That team is just so good defensively, but I think Kawhi isn't going to play that much next year. I really think that Kawhi is going to be like, I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to go hard in the playoffs, you know? And I think that's going to be a big difference because I think the Lakers are going to be number 2. Let's move into 2.
I think he's going to want to ball out with PG.
I think the Lakers are 2.
I think the Clippers are 2 just because they're defense.
I could see that. I can see you switching the Nuggets. I can see you switching the Lakers.
It's the Nuggets at 2. For me, I think the Nuggets are probably one of the most
beautiful teams to watch.
Beautifully made.
Yeah.
They have worked their way through the draft. Yeah. They have traded. It's Denver. No one wants to sign to Denver.
Because Denver's not a party city.
No, it's not. It's cold and it's high. The only thing that is good about Denver is that weed is legal for NBA players.
You got to look out, though. Denver is going a little bit off the rails.
Okay, let's talk about this team. I really think...
they're trying to legalize
I really think this team is just such a complete team. All right?
I think they do not have flaws.
They
don't have one.
I think, I want to talk about this
shooting,
real quick.
defense,
I really want to
passing,
talk about this
rebounding.
Let me say this, all right? Jokic is arguably the best passer in the NBA already. He is a center, and he is amazing. He's also got a beautiful finish around the rim.
I mean, I wouldn't say the best.
You know who Jokic is?
I wouldn't say the best.
He is what offensive Draymond.
He is what Arvydas Sabonis should have been.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
But I think he is the Draymond and Curry, except he is the Jokic and Jamal. All right, I think that team, those two, that having your big man pass allows your shooters to be able to actually be able to move around and try and get that shot.
The thing is,
I think it's just going to be. I think Jamal later on in his career is honestly going to be called one of the greatest shooters of all time, and it's going to be because of Jokic. Because of Jokic,
it's too
going to be because
it is way too early to say.
He's not that
Jamal
good of a shooter
Murray.
right now, but it's Jokic who's going to make it.
Okay. The reason, I'm refuting this argument in one sentence. The reason Stephen Curry is one of the greatest shooters of all time is because of his handle in order to get his shot up.
And Steve Kerr.
Shut the...
And Steve Kerr.
And Steve Kerr.
And Steve Kerr.
Shut up.
And Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr.
Shut up.
Steve Kerr's
Stephen Curry's handle
offense
in order to get a shot up perfectly complements his release, perfectly complements his footwork. It is so fundamentally fundamentally perfect that is why I view him as the greatest shooter of all time. Yes, he has help from Steve Kerr because Steve Kerr knows how to get a 3-pointer off because that's what he did for his career. Yes, he has help from Draymond because Draymond is an excellent passer.
But he allows Curry to focus on shooting.
And teams can't leave Clay open either, and they couldn't leave KD open either.
Exactly.
Which also allowed him
Exactly. But you look at his unanimous MVP season, and you look at the highlights from that. Most of his threes are coming off the dribble.
Do you guys remember that Thunder game?
I watched it.
Curry
was so crazy.
Thunder game when
that season
Curry
is
knocked
one of the
down
most underrated seasons, though. That season might have been one of the
How is it
best.
underrated?
No, I think people know
the
this.
unanimous MVP.
People,
Stop touching me.
people. All right. People don't realize. I want you guys, the people that are currently listening to this, I want you guys to go back and look at Basketball Reference and just look at Curry's stats. They are absolutely
Don't
insane.
look at any videos of him actually playing basketball. Just look at his numbers.
I'm just saying, you also need to look at his numbers. All right, shut up. Listen to me. All right? He had 2 steals a game, which is very good. All right? He had 30 points. He had 30 points on 50% from the field goal as a guard. And let's not forget, 45% from the 3.
Yeah.
That is
insane.
absurd.
That is insane.
That is literally
absolutely insane.
For the volume that he is shooting, I get that there's
He's shooting 10 threes a game.
There's
upwards of 10 threes a game.
I get that there are shooters that have shot better percentages, but none of them has ever shot
that quantity.
That quantity with that efficiency
is absurd.
He is by far. Like, it's not even close. Like, people use...
That might be the greatest season of all time, other than, like, of course, the ones in the 60s and with Will.
When, like, Will was averaging, like, 50
Those don't count.
When the second tallest person was, like, 6'1".
Yeah.
And Wilt was 7.
When everyone else was as athletic as your dad's accountant.
Yeah.
Still, I think Curry is just easily the greatest shooter of all time. And I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close.
And I don't think you can compare Jamal Murray to that yet. Because
I don't think yet, but I think he can be. I think he has the ability to be able to.
Jokic is a better shooter than Jamal Murray.
No, he is not.
Jamal Murray.
Jokic is 35% from
Jamal Murray's knockdown. The only thing is I need to see more of him get his handle.
Exactly. But I think Jamal Murray can be one of the greatest shooters of all time because of the availability that Jokic allows.
Because I need to
claim.
Because the thing is, I need to see it without the system. Because Steph Curry has shown that he can be an amazing shooter without running his system, without running Steve Kerr's plays, without letting Draymond feed him the rock, without them keying in on Klay Thompson.
But has he ever played without both Klay and Draymond? If you think about that, has he ever played without them?
Yeah.
Other than his early seasons, obviously, in which he was leading the league in assists.
Probably 2014 when Draymond was a bench warmer and Clay wasn't as.
But he wasn't as good. He wasn't the iconic shooter that we know him as right now.
He was a good shooter.
He was
a year away from his MVP.
Do you want
he was a year away from his MVP? Yeah, pull up his 2014 season.
Yeah. 2013-2014, not 2014.
I'm aware.
We got that. Yeah. I really don't think you can make a claim saying Jamal Murray will end up as one of the greatest shooters of all time.
I think he can be. And you guys can tell me on this.
I think Luka Doncic can be one of the greatest shooters of all time. But doesn't mean he will be.
Stephen Curry in the 2013-2014 season attempted 8 3-pointers a game and shot 42% from the 3.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's still very good.
He was How many points he averaged? 27? 26?
No, that was early on.
He averaged 24 points a game.
That's not much. But
did you say that's not?
I said not as
that's
much.
Not that much.
Not as much as he said.
That's one shot less.
That's more points than his first MVP year.
Yep.
I'd just like to say his first MVP year, he shot 23.8.
All right, let me see the stats real quick.
You're just gonna take
his phone like that?
All right,
creature.
Sorry, viewers. Nick's being
Jamal Murray. All right, you guys can count me on this. In 10 years from now, you guys can come back and make sure Jamal Murray is going to be such a great shooter later on in his career because of the floor spacing that Jokic allows. Allowing him to be the passer and have Jamal Murray have one less thing to focus on just allows him to focus on singularly shooting.
So we are literally reiterating the points we made 15 minutes ago.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
So we have nothing else left.
I think we need to move on to the Lakers.
Let's move on to the Lakers.
The Lakers.
Who I have at my 1 seed.
I have them at the 2 seed. I have the Nuggets at the 1 seed because they're just so complete.
Seed as we went
I think the Lakers are just a beautiful team. I think I'm going to pull up that roster.
LeBron James is still the best player on the planet.
I think
you'll prove that
people forget how good Anthony Davis really is
because he was stuck in
New Orleans
Pelicans
last year.
Team. He was okay. Let's remember Anthony Davis at Kentucky. Do you guys remember Anthony Davis at Kentucky? He
came into the
undisputed
league.
number one.
He came into the league. Didn't he go his first year? Didn't he go into?
He played in the Olympics.
He played in the Olympics
before playing in the NBA game.
He played in the Olympics. That's how good he was.
At Kentucky in college, he averaged 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks, and was the unanimous Wooden Award winner, which goes to the most outstanding player in college basketball, and led his team as a freshman with no other first round
before
talent
one and dones were huge
to win the NCAA tournament.
All right. I want to go through each one of these players, and I want to say a few things about this. I'll start at the bottom, all right? Jared Dudley. Obviously, he's not
the glue guy.
But he is a glue guy. He's a glue guy.
He was the reason.
All right?
He was actually, believe it or not, he was a huge reason for the Nets' chemistry last year. He led all the sideline dancing that went viral.
Yeah.
If you watch that, it was all Jared Dudley. He's great.
He made Ben Simmons look like a fool.
He's
a great
because Jared Dudley
guy.
Knows that he's not the best player.
Obviously.
So he's going to get in the star player's head. So when the star player starts to do one good thing and then start talking trash, it's like, dude, you're talking trash to Jared Dudley. What are you doing?
I want to see him do it to I wish he played a while ago so he could do it to Kobe Bryant. I just want to see that. I just want to see that.
Dude, you're talking to Jared Dudley. Do you see my physique?
Yeah. He's got that dad bod.
All right. I'll go to the next player. Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
Solid.
That guy is an underrated player.
I don't think
he's very solid.
He's not underrated.
He's a solid role player.
He's solid.
He's a solid role player.
I give him solid role.
All right, we can finish him.
3 and D.
Rajon Rondo.
He's a great facilitator, great defender.
And a great defender. He's not that good of a shooter, but he's getting better. Have you noticed that? I've noticed that when he plays the Blazers, he's been really a knockdown shooter. He's been against us.
I wouldn't say
the Blazers' perimeter defense is so.
I wouldn't say knockdown, but he's gotten solid enough, and he's developed a mid-range.
Oh, obviously not against everyone, but I've noticed against the Blazers, he really knocked.
I was about to speak on the mid-range. The mid-range has been really a big part of his game.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, I'll go to the next player.
Because he's lost the quickness in his steps, so he needs to
find the next
way to make himself an option on offense.
JaVale McGee.
Love him.
He is so athletic.
Can we just talk about this play that I'm sure y'all have seen?
Back.
Can we just talk about this play that I'm sure y'all have seen? My guy fakes an injury and hobbles to the baseline, and then just runs, grabs it, and dunks it.
I love it. But he actually came out and said he was actually hurt. He actually hurt his leg.
Yeah,
but he was like, "Oh crap, my guy backed off. I gotta get this pass."
What else is he supposed to say? I was fine.
I was fine. I was pulling a soccer player.
Let's not forget that this guy is actually a very good shot blocker. In the decade, there's 2 players to have the most blocks, all right, and it's 12 blocks, and there's 2 people that have gotten that in the last 10 years, and that is Hassan Whiteside, Portland, all right, and then JaVale McGee. He's a great shot blocker.
And then he also has some monster lobs, too.
And he's just so athletic. Yeah. He's so athletic.
And he can shoot a 3 now.
And let's talk about Avery Bradley. All right, remember the talk of
he has been in very bad situations. I've always believed in him ever since he had those 2 great years in Boston. He goes to Memphis, and I get it because it's Memphis.
It's Memphis.
He has the pressure to be the best player on a Celtics team in 2013 that just lost Paul Pierce and lost everybody pretty much, and I understand it because he's young. And it's his first year, and he did bad, and then everybody just counted him out. I think in this situation where
it's perfect for him.
It's perfect for him.
I think what's the craziest thing?
He's not going to break out and become an all-star, obviously, but he's going to thrive under the system and what he's supposed to do. He's going to play his role perfectly.
All right, everybody in the offseason was like, where's all the talk about LeBron and Anthony Davis so far in the offseason?
There's nothing to be said.
You know what everyone's talked about? Avery Bradley. Every single one of the players on the team said that Avery Bradley played his heart out on defense and was shocked.
Good for him.
His defense is supposed to be insane. Right.
It has been insane.
He's a hustle defender.
He's a hustle
defender.
defender.
He's kind of like
reminds me of Eric Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe. That's what I was thinking. All right, let's go to the next player. Danny Green.
Okay.
This guy is a
amazing
great
shooter.
Great shooter.
Great 3-and-D player.
Probably one of the best 3-and-D players in the league.
I love Danny.
Great
glue
guy. He's gotten along with everybody.
He was a key part of this.
Without Danny Green, the Raptors don't win the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Without Danny Green, the Spurs don't win the NBA Finals.
That is also true. He's such a good,
He's such a key player.
He's
such a role
in
player.
any team
He's
plays
like
for.
If you look up
I think
role
he can
player
fit
in the
in pretty much
dictionary,
all.
you will
That's
see
Danny
a
Green.
picture of Danny Green.
Yes.
Like he is what a
Or
role player
Rodman.
should be.
Or Dennis Rodman.
Or Dennis Rodman. Yeah.
Dennis Rodman.
All right.
It's like he knows his role and he will do his role perfectly.
And then let's talk about Quinn Cook, who left the Warriors to go join a better Lakers team.
Okay.
That's so sad.
I just want to talk about Quinn Cook for a second. That period of time where Stephen Curry was injured, Stephen Curry was on my fantasy team. So Stephen Curry went to my injury reserves list, and I picked up Quinn Cook because I'm like, you know what? He's probably going to get a little bit of touches. I've heard some good things about him. My guy hits like 6 threes, and I'm like, bro, who is this kid? Like I'm so high on Quinn Cook, and I think just perfect for the Lakers because they need guards who can handle the ball, but guards who can also shoot. Because if you look at Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Avery Bradley, they're okay shooters.
Okay.
And then you have Rajon Rondo who can handle the ball, but he can't shoot.
Quinn Cook can handle the ball. He's got a tight handle. And he can knock down. He can knock down. Defensively, we're not going to talk about it. But you know what? Offensively,
he's a great.
If he can continue to do what he did in Golden State, this Lakers team is going to be dangerous. And he's got a hot hand. He's a microwave. He's got a hot hand.
All right, let's talk about LeGoat, Alex Caruso.
Alex Caruso.
Big man putting on some muscle.
Hey, man.
This guy,
he sacrificed his hairline for
LeBron. For LeBron, he put a spell reversing their hairlines. Honestly, the only thing I'm excited about for Alex Caruso
is he's a good shooter.
Is the posters.
He's a really good shooter.
And he's ridiculously athletic.
The posters.
Yes. The
Alex
posters.
Caruso sacrificed his hairline to
I'm
be
excited for him and LeBron lobs.
Yeah. And him and AD lobs.
AD and him lobs.
LeBron and him lobs.
Yeah, like it's gonna be a ride for Alex Caruso.
LA is gonna be Lob City, but it won't be the Clippers this time.
Next player, Kyle Kuzma. I personally think he's quite overrated.
He's pretty overrated. He's gonna be solid, of course.
He's gonna be a very solid player.
He's a pretty good defender.
I'd put him on the same as like Tobias Harris.
He's a pretty
just a guy who can come in and hit shots.
I don't think he's as good.
Obviously,
not close.
Not like as high of a volume as Tobias Harris, but he's a guy who can put in
kind
and
of
count on.
I think he's a
shots.
top 60 player in the NBA.
Okay, let's not do that.
But
it's like he is 58 in the NBA.
But look, he's just not as obviously not as good as Tobias, not even close. But he's on his way there. He's starting to do better.
Speaking of those player rankings, did you guys hear that Zion got put at
42 or something
42nd in the NBA already, and he hasn't even played a regular season game?
Ahead of friggin' Klay Thompson.
Ahead of Klay.
And CJ at 13.
That is egregious.
That was so weird.
I love CJ.
I did not understand.
He's not 13. He's like 25.
Yeah, I did. I did not understand that at all.
Back to the Lakers roster.
All right. Oh,
okay.
What the hell in the hell? All right. The next player is DeMarcus Cousins. We can move on.
We can move on. And you know what? Let's save ourselves some time. Let's move on from Dwight Howard too.
No,
I don't want to talk about.
I like Dwight. He's not gay, okay?
Yes, he is. He's athletic though.
Can you blame him? It was Kelly Oubre, man.
I think he's actually a very solid player.
He's lost
quite a few, obviously, but
he hasn't lost a step.
I think he can still come in, and I think he can still come in and play a decent role for this team. But let's get to the 2 stars of this team, other than Caruso.
Let's just talk about them both together.
Right.
So
Anthony Davis.
I think what LeBron did this offseason, or what he did just by moving to LA in general, I think it was absolutely genius. You have everybody leave you in Cleveland, and you're stuck with an injured Kevin Love, and your second best player is, I don't even know. Who is their second best player?
JR.
Yeah, like JR. George Hill.
Tristan Thompson.
what he did by coming to LA and giving himself a down year for him to live in LA, like shoot Space Jam, do an album with 2 Chainz, like give him that year and then say to all of his buddies, since everybody loves LeBron, hey, come join me in LA. Like, we're lit out here. And then he goes out and he recruits these players. Exactly. And I think that's absolutely genius.
I want to talk about this duo real quick. Just me. Give me a second, all right? LeBron and AD.
It's legit.
I think LeBron is going to be...
It's probably the best duo in the NBA.
Absolutely. I think LeBron is going to come out and kill it during the regular season, but during the playoffs, I actually think he's going to give the handle over to AD. I think he's going to...
Why would he?
I think he's going to set up Anthony Davis.
I disagree.
I think he's going to set up
LeBron is unparalleled.
See, but he's also starting to get slightly a little bit older. I know he's not like that much older, but I think he's still
you see, LeBron's been paid so much in his career, and you see he's had his diet and his recovery, his rehabilitation for every
insane.
Season.
His rehabilitation is
I think he spends like $3 million or something like that
on himself.
In the history of
doesn't
sports,
even do anything.
There's nobody who's rehabilitated better than LeBron.
He takes care of his.
He's aged like fine
I think
wine.
if Shaq took as good of a care of his body as LeBron, he would have been the greatest player of all time, and it wouldn't be close.
Shaq probably could still play in the NBA if he took his care.
Yeah,
his care as LeBron right now.
Yeah, but I think.
Are there any former teammates of? Oh yeah.
I think Anthony Davis is going to
come
of Shaq on the Clippers. Because they could end up winning the NBA championship, and that would break the streak.
There's a streak in which Shaq
since 1984
had like 36 teams or something like that. 36
teammates go to the finals.
Yeah,
gotcha. No, win the finals.
Win the finals. Yeah, but
who was it last year?
Danny Green.
Yeah, Danny Green.
Oh, in Cleveland.
Yeah. Cleveland, 2009.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And then obviously LeBron.
That I do.
On Cleveland.
But I think LeBron and AD really do have a chance of being one of the greatest duos of all time, and I think they're going to be such a great fit together. Like, I think the chemistry is there. I think having a defensive and...
Depending on if LeBron re-signs in 3 years, quite possibly better than MJ and Scott.
AD only has a 1-year contract. So if it goes really...
Again,
if it's disastrous this year, it
probably won't be. Honestly.
I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to fit very well.
Yeah.
It's going to be insane.
I still got this team at my
This is a better team.
I think the Jokic are more complete right now. But come playoff team, the Lakers.
Even though there's technically one,
and the Clippers.
Lakers are going to be low.
Even though there's technically one less superstar on this team, I think this has a chance to be better than the Heat with LeBron. Just because of the way that this.
Just because of the way it's designed. It is designed for LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Exactly.
You got perimeter defenders and shooters.
Okay, and also, let's talk about how every single time LeBron has a big man, he makes their stats go down. But I think AD is going to be one of the players where he actually makes him a better player.
Yeah.
All right.
They very complement each other very well.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I know this was a long one, but, we had a lot of things to say. Hopefully it won't be as long next time. Thank you for tuning in, and this has been The Last Word.